Out of the Blue, proudly brought to you by San Remo. We're family.
Another surprise!
Out of the blue.
You want that with fries?
Out of the blue. Come with me across the sea on a barbecue. We're gonna cook for you.
Nothing but blue skies!
Out of the blue.
You want some chili with those fries?
Out of the blue.
I hope you're all rugged up today because Out of the Blue comes from the enchanting, the wild and woolly township of Port MacDonnell. Port MacDonnell is the southernmost town in South Australia and is located about 477 kilometres southeast of Adelaide. Port MacDonnell was one of the state's busiest ports, second only to Port Adelaide, shipping wheat and wool from the local area around the world. The coastline is treacherous and saw many a ship come to grief, but none as spectacular as the SS Admella. In the early hours of Saturday, the 6th of August 1859, the pride of the coastal shipping fleet hit Carpenter's Rocks. A tragedy, sadly, that lasted for 7 days.
With the Admella, it was horses that got down in boxes. They stopped the boat so that they could turn it round and get these horses back up again. But in the meantime, it came in too close, and of course that was the end of the boat. The SS Admella, I think, is probably one of Australia's worst shipping disasters. Mainly because even though it only occurred a short way off the coastline, it was 7 days. People couldn't get to the ship to rescue those that were on it, and those that were on the ship just had to suffer. No food, no clothing, and wintertime, so horrific winds and waves crashing them over them. The ship broke into 3 pieces. And there were quite some horrific stories. I mean, there was one lady on there that when they went on to try and transfer him to a safer part of the ship, unfortunately her little baby had died, and they said to her, you can't take the baby with you, and they dropped it over the side. And when they turned round, the mother rolled into the sea with the baby.
The stories are horrific. The people were so close, trying to come in against the tides and the currents, only to be swept out and sadly drowned.
There was another story of a father and wife and 2 children. We don't know what age the children were, but the mother said, you take the children over and I'll come over afterwards. He strapped the children to his body, went across on the rope, and halfway across, we believe he must have lost his nerve and he fell into the sea. There's the wife watching her husband and 2 children drowning. It wasn't until after the Admella was wrecked that they decided they really should keep records of people going on ships, because we had no record of exactly how many people were on the Admella. So as far as the number of people who drowned, there's no exact record. If I've whet your appetite about shipwrecks, the place to come is Port MacDonnell and District Maritime Museum. We've got information about 30 ships that were wrecked along the coastline here. Another 5 that left Port MacDonnell and were never seen again. And we've got the letter from one of those that the captain wrote to his wife saying, I'll be home, dear, for the birth of our last child. He was never seen again. The ship was never found. And if you go to Cape Banks, where the lighthouse is, and look out to where the wreck was, on some days the sea is calm and you think, how did it ever happen? But on the rough days, you look at it and you can see that's why.
Along the coastline is an interpretive trail dedicated to the Admella tragedy. Now, when in Port MacDonnell, take the trail. It is a journey that you'll never forget. Don't go away. After the break, we open the vault to see my old mate hunting for rock lobster.
The recreational rock lobster fishery is a state-managed resource. Tony, who's a 4th-generation professional fisherman, is going to explain to us how you enter the recreational resource.
The recreational fishery is open to anyone in South Australia or interstate. You can enter the South Australian recreational rock lobster fishery. by contacting any fisheries office. You can do it online also, or you can do it by over the telephone and by fax. So there are many different ways, but it's a matter of contacting your local fisheries office.
And what's the bag limit, and also what is the boat limit?
The bag limit is 4 lobsters per person or 8 lobsters per boat.
And the minimum size, the legal size?
Is 9.85 centimetres.
And how they determine that is actually it's the length of the carapace.
It is the length of the carapace, now taken from here to here. Now this is a rather large lobster. We're probably looking at 170 centimetres, 17 centimetres rather carapace length. And this is the actual minimum size for this area. We put it there.
Which is 9.85, isn't it?
9.85. So as you can see, you can catch a much smaller lobster than that, and it's still legal.
And also, once you've landed your lobster, by law, you also got to trim the tail. That identifies it comes from a recreational
We do
resource.
indeed. So we take the central tail fan and we can clip it straight across with a pair of scissors. Causes no pain to the lobster, doesn't cause him to breed, but it then shows that it's been caught by a recreational fisherman, can be traced and can't be sold.
I've got a couple of beautiful southern rock lobster to give to Adam to make that beautiful dish. I cannot wait. Have a look at them. Love to tickle them.
Out of the blue.
Adam, how you going, old son?
Oh, Michael, how are you, mate?
I'm very well, thank you, but look at that. That is a
Well,
southern rock lobster. No, lobster.
Well, I would rob you for it. Don't worry
not
about
bad,
that,
is
mate.
it?
Oh, that is fantastic.
What do you reckon you can do with that?
Straight away, I think about simplicity. I'm going to do a rock lobster, I think, with asparagus, French butter, a little bit of fennel prongs, and black truffle spaghetti. So basically, I want to show you how to separate the actual head from the body. So more than anything, just pulling it apart nice and softly, all right, and out with the meat.
There it goes there.
So basically taking the head from the body there, and you've got this beautiful tail with that lovely meat. Look at that meat, that flesh there. Now, to basically take this spine out, I call it here, Michael, we take scissors, and along the side, right along the side. Now, don't creep into the meat. Oh, it is that fresh. You brought me the best of the best.
Well, it's a freshie, all right. There's no doubt about that.
Wow. So pull that apart. Okay. Takes a bit of time. You've got to be patient. Now, that's out. Now, to come down the back of the spine, we just break it a little bit. You can basically use your hands and you separate it and you squeeze it out a bit and get it out of there.
Okay.
We're going to dice it up. So, you know, you might put it into boiling water.
Okay.
Keep that aside. I'm going to pull that apart in nice little pieces, okay? And maybe you can do that for me.
Yeah, I can do that.
Now, the French butter, you know, why aren't I using Australian butter or make your own?
Yeah, why aren't you?
The French is obviously full of flavour. It's quite rich. And for this dish is exactly what I'm looking for, Michael. So look, just some diced shallots. Get them into the pan with the butter. So get the heat up a bit more, get that butter melting away. So that's going to take a couple minutes, just frying off the shallots. Make sure that you don't give them too much colour because you don't want that little burnt tail that's coming through your dish. A couple minutes on that. Okay, Michael, so the shallots are cooked off there, no colour, beautifully. In we go with the lobster meat.
So you haven't got a high heat there, so that's a deliberate sort of heat you've set on. Yeah,
definitely.
Okay.
And what I'm doing is monteing it. So I'm just taking the butter and turning it, basically mounting it over and over the lobster.
Is that what that means?
Yes.
Oh, I love those long words.
So with the asparagus, so just diced up asparagus at this point as well.
Okay. You use stalk and as well as the top part.
Works. But normally, you know, you might think you'd blanch them.
first.
No need to blanch.
No?
No. Because I've cut them so finely, what happens is the heat from the pan will cook them nice and, as I'd say with pasta, al dente,
Al dente.
nice and firm to the bite. What at this point, Michael, I have some cracked pepper if I can. Don't worry. I've got you here for a reason. You're here to be my apprentice, mate.
Oh, you're teaching me something. Just a mere manservant.
There you go. Come on, chop. So what I've done is just basically cooked off the pasta in boiling water with a good pinch of salt, drained it, run it under refreshing water, a bit of olive oil to stop it from sticking. Good extra virgin, of course, Bobolina.
Now, you know, I normally use a thin spaghetti, but there's something about the normal size spaghetti, isn't it? It just adds something to the... Look at that there. It is just amazing.
And you know what they say, when pasta's ready, you basically grab it and throw it and if it sticks to the ceiling for a minute.
Have you seen how high these are?
Okay, pasta please, sir.
There you are. Beautiful.
In with the pasta. Fold that through. Okay, now with the heat, the next extravagant piece, the truffle. So I'm just going to microplane it.
Now, can you overdo the use of truffle? You
Definitely. I think what everybody thinks is that truffle is used upon everything.
Yeah.
Flood it with this, truffle that. No need. Just a nice hint right at the end. So I reckon we need to serve this thing up, Michael.
Adam, that is looking superb.
Now, I'm going to put you on the spot. What are you going to call it?
This has got to be spaghetti alla rock lobster, tartufo being truffle, and asparagus.
Join us after the break to see which delicious wine from Katnook is suggested for this delicious recipe.
What goes really nicely with this limestone coast rock lobster is Chardonnay. The Chardonnay works beautifully with the pasta and the buttery flavours of the plate. The acidity of the Chardonnay just cuts through all of those rich flavours and leaves your palate nice and clean and cleansed, just like the flavours of the southern rock lobster. What a wonderful combination. Thank you.
What about, tell us about Katnook? I mean, how did it all start?
It was the name of the property. I think it started out in the 1840s. Certainly made famous by John Riddoch, who purchased the property in the early 1860s. And he decided that the soils and the climate in Coonawarra were ideally suited for vineyards. And in 1896, he made wine in the Katnook woolshed. And in fact, these offices here are very much part of the history or this precinct that we're in. So historically, Katnook is very much a part of Coonawarra.
Tell us about the soil though. It is very special. Is it a strip of this special soil that you can grow these magnificent grapes on?
Absolutely. It is a very long, narrow strip of soil, some 13 or 14 kilometres long by a couple of kilometres wide. It's a very shallow, red sandy clay loam over limestone, which is derived from an ancient inland sea. More importantly, it's the combination of climate and soils which gives Coonawarra its amazing flavours. And that, I think, lends itself to growing not only what we believe to be some of the best Cabernets in the world, but it's ideal for many varieties.
Wayne, we've looked at the region, we've looked at Katnook, the winery. What about Wayne the man?
Wayne, I started here in 1979 with every intention of going back to university and finishing my degree. However, as it turned out, the challenges and opportunities that I had then have pretty much given me, I think, a fantastic career here. We are now represented in, I think, 18 different countries around the world. And with our new owners, our Spanish owners, they are investing heavily back into not only the Katnook winery and the beautiful old Katnook woolshed, but the buildings that we see here surrounding us. And more importantly, in our vineyards, we have pulled out older, unviable vineyards, and we've replanted them to newer clones of Cabernet Sauvignon, newer clones of Shiraz. So the future for me, even at this stage, is really quite exciting because we've got material which I haven't had to work with for many years.
Wayne, thank you and your team for having us.
Thank you, and
cheers.
Thanks for coming to Coonawarra.
Cheers. You hear lots of stories in these areas of cattle disappearing, sheep just going like that. Rustlers, aliens. No, something else. Cenote or sinkholes. A sinkhole really is an underground cave full of water and the roof, the limestone bedrock, just falling in. Hence this one here, the little blue lake just outside Port MacDonnell. The council have really done it up well. They've got the stairs going down, a pontoon. People come here and fish, and it really is a place of enjoyment. There's some famous ones around the world, particularly in Mexico at the Yucatan area, and there's about 100 or 200 around here in the southeast area, but they really are interesting. So watch where you walk. Hey, check this out. Caroline's sinkhole or cenote. It's here at the Penamble Conservation Park and it's of great geological significance. birds breed there, they make their nests, they also get their water, and the indigenous people used to spend winters there because it was nice and safe and secure. But you know, to me, I don't sort of want to go back there too far because it looks a little bit like Jurassic Park.
They're not thousands of years old, but old enough to be a South Australian icon. Next up, the story of the Balfours Frog Cake. Now, normally we finish the program with something sweet from George, a real delicacy. Today, different, an Australian icon. In fact, it's the Balfours Frog Cake. The Balfours Frog Cake is something we've all grown up with, and you can see from the production of these little green frogs, well, it's quite a process.
Starts the previous day with the weighing up of the mixes for the cakes. They'll start mixing the batters, putting it into the trays, baking it off. Then it gets cooled, the sheet gets cut in half, the centre is jammed, and the top is jammed, and then the cakes are all cut. They set till they're nice and firm. Then the next crew comes in and they start daubing the cream on top onto the little portions. And the product's transferred out here into the finishing area, separated onto trays, onto wires. They're enrobed, allowed to set for a couple of minutes. Then the mouths are cut in the frogs, and all of the eyes are hand piped on. Then they're placed into little patty papers, and then hand packed into the little trays with the sticker applied and coated, all ready to go out for the next day's tray.
There must be a sense of pride in actually producing an Australian icon day after day.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt, as I said, it's something we do take very seriously. And the people that make the frogs have been making them for a long time now. And yeah, it's a very rewarding job, actually.
The South Australian Heritage Icons program goes back to 2001, and the frog cake was one of the first ones inducted into that Hall of Fame. So we knew from the start that it was something that was very dear to South Australians and something very special and unique that we wanted to honour. John Balfour went to Paris, and when he came back he was inspired by some of the things he'd seen and tasted in Paris and created the frog cake. So it has an interesting lineage back to the patisseries of Paris in the 1920s. So it was first produced here in Adelaide in 1922. For 90 years people have enjoyed them, and it brings back a lot of memories for people. So they're the kind of things that we want to honour with the heritage icons, because these icons tell us about who we are, where we've come from, and it's nice to remember those traditions, particularly something as delicious as a frog cake.
Now it's my turn to give it a go. Getting the cream daubed onto the cake the right size isn't so easy.
That's not too good, that one. That could be a reject.
Anyway, my cakes are going along the line to get the green icing. They look a bit odd, don't they?
That's our show for the day. Go to our website. You'll see these on there. Make a bid for them. See you next time. I botched it up, haven't I? These have got character. Look at that. They got...
Look at that there. It is just amazing.
And you know what they say, when pasta's ready, you basically grab it and throw it. It sticks to the ceiling for a minute.
Have you seen how hard these are?
We got a bit of way out there, haven't we? Go, Mike, give it a go. Turn it on me, will you? Think of that.
Out of the Blue, proudly brought to you by San Remo. We're family.